Today we'll be looking at Lobby Tracker, which is a sophisticated lobby management application that's used both for the benefit of a visitor who's approaching the branch or for an organization who's looking to better understand the experience of their visitors in the lobby, how long they're waiting, improving those touch points. What I'm going to show you first today is from the experience of the visitor who's going to check in at a self-check-in kiosk. Alternatively, we have branches that use other approaches as well, where the visitor will check in at a teller line or at a reception desk. Either way, the process flow is the same. We have an electronic record of that visitor who's entered the branch, and we can find out how long they waited, when they signed in, who they spoke to. We'll get into later in our demonstration today the perspective from the branch staff who are assisting the members. So right now I'm a visitor. I'm going to check into the Pacific Hills branch. I want to see someone about business services. I have several options here. I can sign in to see a staff member. I can book an appointment without having to speak to someone necessarily. And I can even check in for an appointment if I already have one that I've booked. So I'm going to sign in to see the next available team member. I do not have an appointment. And I am going to enter my name. I have the opportunity to enter account number and phone number. These fields are customizable by the organization, so you can choose which fields you want to gather information about. And I'm going to select the business account. When I click check-in, I'm going to be presented with a list of the people who are ahead of me just by position, as well as the time that they checked in. This provides me as a visitor with an anticipation of how long I will be waiting. So that's really the perspective, the visitor's check-in process. After that, they're going to have a seat in the lobby. Someone will come and assist them. Let's take a look at what that looks like from the branch side. So now from the perspective of the staff, we've recently redesigned our software so that it fits well within a tablet. So let's assume that I am a member service representative. I'm walking around with my iPad. I have a list of those visitors that have checked into the lobby who are waiting. You can see we've got some very long wait times here. We've got some service issues. We only have 2 staff signed in, and yet we've got 5 visitors waiting, so that's an alert right there. I can see the type of walk-in that we have, or the type of visitor that we have, whether they have an appointment or they just walked into the branch. I can see who they've requested, the products and services they're here for, and then any notes. So we're going to assist, typically we would assist the first person that had been waiting the longest, but just for the purpose of the demo. I'm going to assist Mr. Smith, who we checked in earlier. So I will walk up to Mr. Smith and say, Mr. Smith, please come back to my office and let me help you out with that business services. So I'll click on the assist. And now I'm going to go through assisting him with his needs. Once I've finished, I'm going to go in and just select the items that I've assisted him with. One of the things you'll notice is that we're recording the interaction time, so not only do we know how long Mr. Smith waited, but we're also going to know how long it took to serve him. And every time we complete a product or service, we're going to see those listed over here along with the time that it took to complete those individual items. So really giving us a picture into what's going on in this interaction, how long these items are taking, and as well as Mr. Smith's experience. When I'm finished, I might talk to Mr. Smith about a new credit card, and he might say, follow up with me about that later on this week. So I can put in a note here to follow up on the new credit card on September 4th. Later on, as an administrator, as a branch manager, branch managers can go through and search for notes with key terms like follow-up or credit card and assign those items out to staff for follow-up. So I'm going to wrap up Mr. Smith when I've finished the interaction. So there's really, from a business perspective, there's no interruption in flow. I basically approach Mr. Smith, I click on assist, I bring him back to the office. I don't have to do anything with the iPad. I completely focus on him throughout the entire interaction. After I've said goodbye, thank you for your business, then I will go in and click on wrap up. And that will conclude the interaction so that my branch manager and the branch management team will be able to see how long that interaction took. From a receptionist standpoint, if a visitor approaches either the teller desk or the reception, or perhaps there's a greeter who walks around with the iPad to check people into the branch, the process is very similar to what we saw earlier with the kiosk. I'm going to enter the name of the visitor. I have the option to enter phone number, email address, and any notes. I can select a staff member or a particular user, maybe that's a teller or a banker, and then I will select the products and services that that person is here to talk about. I can add that visitor to the lobby, which means that the sales staff will come and take them out of the lobby. If it's something very simple like a balance inquiry or something that I can assist them with as a receptionist or as a teller right from my station, I can do an instant assist right there. I can also book appointments for this visitor. So as you can see, it's a very streamlined process. It's a mobile process, and everywhere along the way we're getting good data about what's going on in the lobby, which is going to help branch managers fine-tune their processes. Up at the top, we have a stats bar that displays critical information about the lobby. So no matter where we are in the tool, we're going to see how many visitors are waiting, what the current wait time is in the lobby, how many staff are signed in, and how many visitors have been served. So this is going to help branch managers spot service anomalies before they happen, because if we've got 2 staff signed in, we've got a 13-minute wait time, and we have 4 visitors that are waiting in the lobby, chances are we've got a little bit of a backlog. So that's going to help to spot those types of anomalies. We've got a miniature graph over here to the right, which is going to give us a history of today's visitor traffic. So just giving us that perspective, so we cement within our, begin to learn the patterns, the traffic patterns that visitors are following in the branch. So as you can see, it's a very simple tool. It's a streamlined process. And let me take a look at some of the administrative portion of this, where we look at some of the reports and the metrics that come out of this data. So for that, I'm going to switch screens. So here on our dashboard, we're able to see lobby statistics over time. We can see how many visitors have been served, the average wait time, how many abandons, and the average assist time in minutes. So over time here, we can see that our visitors are trending up. Our wait times have come down over the last few months. And as I drill into this information, I'm going to get some more pictures about what are the busiest times of the day that visitors are arriving. So we've got a heat map here that's going to outline how many visitors arrived at 9 a.m. on Mondays, how many were abandoned, what the average wait time and the average assist time were. So this really is going to help organizations determine adequate staffing levels. We've had several organizations that have identified periods of time where they were losing a lot of opportunity because their wait times were so long. Visitors were abandoning at very high rates, which helped them to be able to validate, to create the business need for adding that additional person. Others have found places where they can re-optimize staff where there's not the business need, there's not the visitor traffic to drive to support the current staffing levels. We can look at our busiest days of week, and we can even look at products and services provided by employees in comparison with the branch. We can select particular products and services, so if we want to see who's doing the most medallion signatures or savings accounts, we can see that by person or by branch. So we've really provided a lot of ways to drill into the data and to provide those key insights on how to improve bank processes. One of the other things that one of our clients did in the Northeast is they found out that most of their members were coming in for online banking. So instead of using some of the other channels that the organization had provided, all their members were coming in to talk about setting up online banking. And that was consuming valuable sales time. So they figured out a way to revamp that process so that that people weren't coming in, taking up the salespeople's time to work on something that's very service-oriented. Again, we want our salespeople focused on sales. So that's an example of some of the ways that these reports have been used to improve business processes.